In 2023 and 24, many people struggled and still are due to a downturn in real estate, high unemployment, widespread layoffs, and the highest number of small business bankruptcy in 36 years. So in this video, we're going to look at a few successful businesses that fell off and the lessons we can learn from them in order to survive a recession and continue thriving afterwards. Ever since World War II, a recession would typically occur once in every 6.5 years, which was considered to be a healthy rate for the economy to stay intact. With this in mind, it's easy to understand why our current economic situation seems like it's beyond the point of repair. The Great Recession was back in 2008, so we're talking almost 16 years. Ray Dalio predicts the next depression is possibly just around the corner, and Michael Berry, who shorted the Big Short, just shorted the S&P 500 by $1.6 billion. So a lot of these guys are fearing what's taking place. Now, before analyzing these businesses, it's important to understand what a recession actually is. Technically defined as 2 consecutive quarters of negative economic growth caused by economic shocks like spike in oil prices, financial panics, rapid changes in the economic expectations, or a combination of the 3. Most firms suffer during a recession because demand falls and uncertainty about the future increases. But there are enough resources to show that there are ways to mitigate that damage. The difference between successful businesses and the ones that went bankrupt was preparation. The companies that went stagnant from the after effects of the Great Recession did not make contingency plans, neither did they think through alternative scenarios. The businesses that barely make it are slower to recover and never really catch up. On the other hand, the top 10% that made it through switched into survival mode when a downturn hit, making deep cuts and reacting defensively. The key takeaway here is that since recessions are a high pressure change of environment, in order to navigate one, a company needs to be flexible and ready to adjust. Now let's look at a few businesses that really struggled. First up is WeWork. They specialize in renting long-term leases from big properties and then offering them to smaller businesses on flexible short-term arrangements. In November of 2023, they filed for bankruptcy because of profitability issues and high operating costs. Despite trying to restructure multiple times, they just couldn't get past their financial troubles. Next, we have Yellow Corporation, a transportation company providing extensive freight services. They filed for bankruptcy in August of 2023. Their financial problems stemmed from operational inefficiencies and huge debt. The trouble started in 2000 when they took on a lot of debt to buy competitors, but failed to manage and repay it. During COVID-19 in 2020, they took a $700 million loan from the federal government and could not pay it back. Lastly, Rite Aid, a major pharmacy chain, which filed for bankruptcy in October 23. Their issues were a result of mounting debt and operational challenges, including opioid-related lawsuits. From these examples, it's clear that the biggest contributing factor to their failures were climbing debt, struggles with profitability, high operating costs, and operational failures. With that in mind, here are some effective solutions to consider as a business owner. The first solution we can look at is to avoid allowing the business to run out of money. A recession usually brings lower sales and less cash to fund operations, which is why it's important and a major requirement to manage financial debt in order to survive a downturn. You can easily manage your debt by frequently reviewing and restructuring it to propose manageable repayment terms like renegotiating interest rates, extending repayment periods, or converting the debt to equity. You can also explore debt consolidation to simplify and reduce debt servicing costs. Now, the more debt you have, the more cash you will need to make your interest and principal payment, which puts you at a higher risk of defaulting. To maintain payments, companies with more debt are forced to cut costs more aggressively through layoffs. These cuts can limit their productivity and ability to fund new investments. Modest levels of debt are not as much of a problem, especially if businesses are able to deleverage that debt without crippling the business if they suspect that a recession is on the way. With that said, it's better to start deleveraging early before the economy is faced with a recession. One of the more effective strategies to deleverage is by reviewing your portfolio and selectively shedding certain assets as opposed to cutting major business operations like laying off an assistant that plays a big role in the business, for example. Diversifying is equally important because it allows you to reduce your business's dependence on a single revenue source. Instead, look into diversifying in related products or services. This spreads the risk and creates multiple income streams, which allows for more financial stability. Amazon did this brilliantly by raising a lot of money to survive the crash. Without the reserves, their options would have been much more limited. Instead, they managed to cover losses from investments in other startups and eventually launched Amazon Marketplace that same year. With the capital they raised, they expanded during and after the recession into new areas like travel, kitchens, clothing, and new markets in Canada. Managing your costs can definitely help the sustainability of your business. An effective way to do this is by implementing strict cost control measures to reduce unnecessary expenses. This includes the adoption of effective operational practices like automating tasks to reduce labor costs and outsourcing inessential activities. For example, if your business requires daily admin tasks, or if you're able to use a virtual assistant, you can outsource these operations through platforms like Fiverr or Upwork, which allows you to hire efficient workers overseas for affordable rates. Next, you want to integrate a practical cash flow management system to secure some form of liquidity. The purpose of having cash ready in a bull market is so that you don't have to go through a forced sale in a bear market. So it's wise to review and forecast cash flow regularly so that you can anticipate and mitigate potential shortfalls. If you're in the manufacturing industry, for example, one way to do this is through the integration of something called just-in-time inventory management, which is a form of inventory management that requires working closely with suppliers so that raw materials arrive only when production is scheduled to begin, but no sooner. The goal behind this strategy is to have a minimum amount of inventory on hand to meet demand. A successful business is not just about the decision it makes, but the team behind those decisions. Companies that thrive during a crisis do so because they rely on a team of strategic decision makers. In tough times, businesses use strategic planning, goal setting, budgeting, and teamwork to stay ahead. This approach is called decentralization, where decisions come from various team members rather than just one leader or a group. Centralized organizations might do better when the economy is strong, while decentralized businesses have the flexibility to adapt and make quicker decisions during a crisis. Recessions bring opportunities for change, and a bit of experimentation is sometimes required. Even if a company isn't fully decentralized, gathering input from all levels can improve major decisions. Layoffs hurt both employees and businesses. Hiring and training new employees can get pretty expensive compared to options like reducing hours, temporary layoffs, or performance-based pays. This is why many companies delay rehiring when the economy improves. Layoffs can also disrupt productivity when businesses can least afford it. Now, don't get me wrong, some layoffs are unavoidable during tough times. For example, 2.1 million people were laid off in the US in 2009 alone, and in 2023, layoffs increased by 200% compared to the previous year. But companies that focused on improving operations rather than cutting jobs remained more resilient during the crisis. Instead of layoffs, you should consider alternatives like performance-based pay, suspension, or reduced hours. For example, after the 2000 stock market crash, Honeywell laid off 20% of its staff, which made their recovery pretty difficult when the economy improved. In 2008, they took a different approach by furloughing employees for 1 to 5 weeks and offering partially compensated or unpaid leave. This saved 20,000 jobs, and they recovered more easily from the recession compared to the crash in 2000. Another option is short-term compensation programs where employees work reduced hours and receive partial unemployment benefits. Companies that used this approach during the recession retained more staff and had higher survival rates. Researchers found that for every 5 workers on short-time work, 1 job was saved. On the other hand, businesses that only implemented pay cuts or hiring freezes without offering productivity programs or short-term compensation programs saw negative results since their productive employees left for better opportunities. Performance-based pay is a great way to control labor costs while boosting productivity. It rewards employees based on business outcomes or their level of effort. For example, a company that I work with runs contests and rewards for the top 3 to 5 advisors with prizes like Apple Watches or Smeg appliances. This motivates employees to increase sales, which in turn boosts the company's revenue. Keeping existing customers through loyalty programs, personalized services, and great customer support can be cheaper than trying to find new ones. Loyal customers can help your business grow steadily, especially if they're paying monthly for your products. The key is to offer personalized programs to keep them happy so they stick around. For example, you can set up a rewards program where customers earn points for each purchase, which they can then use for discounts or special products. You can also send personalized email recommendations based on their previous purchases, making them feel appreciated and boosting their loyalty. Now, recessions usually mean lower costs for technology, making it a good time to invest. Prices for tech go up during economic recoveries, so buying during a downturn can save you a lot of money. Investing in technology can make your business more efficient, flexible, and transparent. It also helps you gather and analyze data, which shows where improvements are needed and how to make your business run better. Digital technology can also cut costs by automating tasks and providing data to make smart decisions. For example, my business relies on following up with clients and sending monthly reminders. So using CRM platforms like Go High Level or VanillaSoft allows me to automate these tasks, send reminders about policy payments, and even personalize messages like birthday wishes. This strategy essentially keeps clients engaged and informed about their plans. Adopting AI technology quickly can make your business stronger coming out of a crisis. While adjusting your business manually can be slow and expensive, AI can handle routine tasks, giving you more time to focus on critical areas that will boost your business. So as you can see, to handle economic downturns effectively, careful planning, smart decision making, and flexibility are key. By learning from the challenges we face by companies like WeWork, Yellow Corporation, and Rite Aid, we can gain valuable insights to build stronger and more resilient businesses. If you found this video helpful, be sure to give it a thumbs up, share it with fellow entrepreneurs, and subscribe to our channel. Don't forget to hit the notification bell so that you never miss out on our latest videos. Remember, every challenge is an opportunity in disguise. So let's turn this crisis into a stepping stone for greater success. Thank you for joining me today and taking the time to explore the best strategies for coming back from a recession. And until next time, take care and bye-bye.